In this video, I'm going to show you how to automate analytics by connecting Google BigQuery to Google Sheets, where you can explore your data, you can create pivot tables, you can create charts, all of which are refreshable either on a schedule or on demand. So let's get started. The dataset we're looking at today is a car sales dataset I have up in BigQuery. It's about 20,000 rows in here. And really what we're interested in this dataset is our sales for the brand and the model. So we've got the company in here and the model, and we're just going to get very simple analytics out of it, see how we're doing from a company perspective and a model perspective. I'm now in my Google Sheet. So my Google Sheet is empty. I've just opened this one up. I'm going to go to data and down into data connectors, and I'm going to collect to BigQuery. So you see all my projects coming up. I'm going to go into my test data set and into my car sales data. And I'm just going to select star from car sales. I'm going to preview these results. That's the data I want. So I'm just going to connect it in here. And I see a preview coming up of all my data in here. And there's a lot of options from these connected sheets. We're going to look at the chart, pivot table and column stats today. So the column stats is a very, very useful function because you can get stats from all your columns. So we can just have a look at the different columns and been able to see how many unique rows there is, how many empty rows there is, and how many values. So this is my ID column. So I would expect all those to be unique, which they are, but I can go into my model column in order to see what the most popular models are. So I can see the most popular model is a Demante there. I can go in and look at the models by chart and insert a chart into my data set, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to go in and insert this chart in, and I'm going to insert this on a new sheet. And what this will do is this will just give me a chart here. I'm just going to change that from a column chart to a bar chart. I'm going to expand this out a bit, and this is giving me a count in here. But what I want to do now is I want to pull in the price instead. So I've got a model count in here, but I'm going to drag the price into series, going to press apply, and then I'm going to sort this in a different way. So instead of that, I'm going to sort this by price, and I'm going to do Z to A. So I can see that the LS400 is my most popular model. So I'm just going to scale this out into millions, and you can see how much has been sold of each of these models. So that chart's done. I can now go back into my car sales data set, and I'm going to look at company this time. So I can either do this from column stats again, or I can just go and do a pivot table out here. So insert a pivot table into a new sheet, and then I'm going to put this time the car ID as values into a count of car ID, and then do the company into my rows. So when I'm happy with this, all I do is press apply, and this will create my pivot table. And again, I want to sort this by count. So I'm going to do a count A in here, and I'm going to change the order to descending. And now I can see that most of the sales have been Chevy. So back into my car sales data set. In order to refresh this, you've got some refresh options in here. So there's 3 different charts in here now. We've got this preview screen here, we've got our chart, and we've got our pivot table, and we can refresh them manually, or we can schedule a refresh. The schedule a refresh, you just press setup now, and you can refresh this from tomorrow starting at 12, and then every day or every week or every month as you go on. So it's fairly simple. Just press save, and now this will have a schedule refresh, and it will refresh that every day. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more data onto this. So I'm back into BigQuery here, and I'm in my table. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add from a local file, I'm going to upload a CSV file, and this is my next tranche of data in here. And the data set is test, and the table is car sale. And what I want to do with this table is I want to add it on. So I'm going to auto detect the schema, and then I'm going to go down into advanced options, and you've got a few options in here: a write preference, write if empty, overwrite the table completely, or append to table. This is just another 2 months of data, so I'm just going to append this to a table just to show you how the refresh works. So I go to create table in here, and this then loads the job, and then this has been created. So I go to my table, I can see 20,000 rows in here. Just going to refresh this, then go to my preview, and I can see 23,000 rows in here. So now I've updated my data set, and I'm going to go back to my sheet. So I go back to my pivot table, I can see that I've 20,136 rows. I go back to car sales, and I'm just going to go to refresh options. I'm going to refresh all, and this will now refresh the preview. It'll refresh the chart, and it will refresh the pivot table. Go back into my pivot table now, and I can see I have 23,903 records in there. And to my chart, the LS400 is still in the lead, but now it's moving closer to the 15 million. So that was automated analytics from BigQuery to Google Sheets. It's a really useful functionality, and you can build really complex dashboards from it. I hope you found this video useful. Follow for more.